to be able to just make a choice on your own and just be able to speak for yourself.
This one's wife, rude in Nigeria. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. This one's wife is in Nigeria, and she's acting like the entire country is rejoicing at her presence. Remember that in the world of this one's wife, she believes that she is the central individual, the main character, as it's often called, that she is the center of the universe, and that she truly and honestly believes, because of the way that her narcissism operates, although she doesn't know that that is what is happening, that everybody is focused on her. This is why she doesn't realize when she comes out with nonsense through her fridge magnet platitudes, which most people who've got any semblance of intelligence would listen to and think, well, that told me nothing, that was a load of vacuous nonsense. With her, she honestly believes that what she's told you is fantastic. She doesn't realize, for instance, when she was at Whistler and she barged in front of Harry while he was handshaking somebody and she sought to hug them, she doesn't realize how rude that is, how ridiculous it looks. She's simply oblivious to it because her narcissism tells her that that person wanted to be hugged by her because, well, it's her, and everybody would want to be hugged by her, surely. She believes that everybody is there to meet her, everybody is there to look at her, and where that fails to happen, of course, that threatens her sense of control and can result in the ignition of fury, where in the past we've seen, for instance, the death stare, or the clenched jaw, or the frantic blinking, which are all reactions to threats to control. This one's wife has again demonstrated her poor behaviour. For instance, she turned up at a school wearing an outfit that wasn't appropriate for meeting school children, and certainly not in a part of the country that is somewhat conservative with a small c. A backless dress and no bra. But as I've explained to you on so many occasions, as a somatic narcissist, she thinks she looks fantastic, and she doesn't think about what she should wear and how it would fit in. That's why in the past, when she was dressed as a bouncing berry of Harlem, and stacked to the gills with gold and jewellery, she didn't think, hang on a second, is this inappropriate when I'm going to be speaking to children from an impoverished area? It simply doesn't cross her mind. If one of her advisors is bold enough to suggest that might not be a good look, she'll poo-poo them. After all, that can be the only explanation as to why she has turned up wearing so many fashion disasters. There will clearly have been individuals that have suggested this doesn't suit you or it's not appropriate for the event that you're going to, and she'll just wave them away because she believes that she knows best. And when she looks in that mirror, through the distortion field of her narcissism, she sees the beautiful, radiant queen that she sees herself as. In this Nigeria trip, when she turned up at the school, she exhibited yet more of her narcissism. And I'm going to play you a short clip now, which embodies that, for me to analyse for you. Here comes the clip. Yes, her narcissism on display once again, manifesting in her rude behaviour. This one's wife and Harry are being introduced to two school children. One of them moves forward as if to offer something to this one's wife. And, like a Labrador that's distracted by a passing butterfly, she immediately turns, looking away, almost turning her back upon the child. Harry, of course, he's a dimwit and a tool at times, but he does understand how to behave in such circumstances, and he continues to talk. You'll also notice, of course, that she's looking to assert control over Harry by utilising the grip of doom on his hand, and she tries to pull him away, only to find that there is resistance causing her to turn back. She was looking at something else. This is the way that she often behaves, in that because she has no emotional empathy for the people that she's talking to, and at times her cognitive empathy misfires, she doesn't realise, and I know for some of you this seems rather hard to understand, but she doesn't realise in that moment that it's bad manners to turn away from somebody when you're being introduced to them, and when they're offering something, you should pay them attention. But she doesn't care. She thinks she cares, but she doesn't. And so what you witness is her being distracted by something else because that's more important to her than actually being caring and decent to the people that she's being introduced to. It's an excellent contrast with Harry, who continues to talk, and her as she turns away thinking, oh, you're boring, there's something more interesting over there. Come on, Harry, let's go over there. Oh, he's not moving. I'd be interested to know what the school children thought of her. Probably did think that she was rather rude. They've probably been brought up with better manners than she has. But this, again, is driven by her narcissism. She's a superficial individual who believes that the universe revolves around her. She only shows an interest in people for the purpose of controlling them and managing a facade. She has no genuine interest in anybody. The only interest that she would actually have is, what can you do for me? And at that juncture, because there was something else going on behind her, which seemed to attract her attention, the school children were ignored in a rude and contemptuous manner, which of course is representative of the haughtiness of the narcissist. It isn't the case that she quickly glanced. She turned, wanting to move away, and tried to make Harry move away from the people that they were being introduced to and dealing with. And you saw that the young lady made to offer something on a tray and then slipped back as she realised that this one's wife had looked away from her. You wouldn't find, for instance, the Princess of Wales behaving in this way. And as I mentioned, Harry at least understands the way that he should behave in these instances, and he continued to talk to them. But once again, you can see just how unpleasant this one's wife is, how self-absorbed she is, how rude she is, as a consequence of her belief that she's more important than anybody else that she's dealing with. And it's a useful lesson for those who think that she's on some triumphant tour to recognise what a thoroughly self-absorbed individual she is. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.